Horror movies have been scaring audiences for decades. From the classic monsters like Frankenstein and Dracula, to the modern-day slasher flicks, horror movies continue to thrill and terrify audiences around the world. In this video, we'll be counting down the top 10 horror movies of all time. Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 horror movies of all time. Number 10, The Shining, 1980. We start our list with The Shining. Directed by Stanley Kubrick and starring Jack Nicholson, this classic horror movie has become a cult favorite. Based on Stephen King's novel, The Shining tells the story of a family who moves into a remote hotel for the winter, only to be haunted by the ghosts of its past. Number 9, Psycho, 1960. At number 9, we have Psycho. Directed by Alfred Hitchcock, this movie is considered a masterpiece of suspense and horror. Starring Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh, Psycho tells the story of a young woman who stops at a remote motel on her way to meet her boyfriend, only to meet her untimely end at the hands of the mysterious motel owner. Number 8, The Babadook, 2014. Next up is The Babadook. Directed by Jennifer Kent, this Australian horror movie has been praised for its psychological depth and stunning visuals. Starring Essie Davis as a single mother struggling to raise her troubled son, The Babadook takes a dark turn when a mysterious book appears in their house, unleashing a malevolent entity. Number 7 on the list is The Thing, 1982. Directed by John Carpenter and starring Kurt Russell, the movie tells the story of a group of scientists in Antarctica who are hunted by a shape-shifting alien. The Thing is known for its tense atmosphere, practical effects, and complex characters, and it has become a beloved classic of the horror genre. Number 6, Hereditary, 2018. Moving on to number 6, we have Hereditary. Directed by Ari Aster and starring Toni Collette, this movie is a masterclass in slow burn horror. Hereditary tells the story of a family haunted by a series of tragedies, and the disturbing secrets that begin to unravel as they try to come to terms with their loss. Number 5, The Silence of the Lambs, 1991. Directed by Jonathan Demme, The Silence of the Lambs is a psychological thriller and horror movie starring Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. It tells the story of a young FBI agent who seeks the help of an incarcerated serial killer to catch another serial killer who skins his victims. Number 4, Get Out, 2017. Directed by Jordan Peele, Get Out is a satirical horror movie that explores racism in America. Starring Daniel Kaluuya, it tells the story of a young black man who goes to visit his white girlfriend's family, only to find himself in a horrifying situation. Number 3, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Directed by Tobe Hooper, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic slasher movie that tells the story of a group of friends who are hunted down by a family of cannibals. It is widely regarded as one of the scariest movies ever made. Number 2, The Conjuring, 2013. Moving on to number 2, we have The Conjuring. Directed by James Wan and starring Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, this movie is a modern classic of the horror genre. Based on a true story, The Conjuring follows paranormal investigators as they try to help a family being terrorized by a malevolent. Number 1, The Exorcist, 1973. At number 7, we have The Exorcist. Directed by William Friedkin and starring Linda Blair, this movie is widely considered one of the scariest movies ever made. Based on a true story, The Exorcist tells the story of a young girl who becomes possessed by a demon, and the efforts of a priest to exorcise the demon from her body.